Okay, really quickly, I just wanted to let you know if you are not printing out the pages for this week or any of the upcoming week's lessons and classwork assignments, you can use a separate line piece of paper. So just make sure you're putting your name, the lesson number, and the title. And then just show your work, show your answers, circle your final answers. You do not have to write down the questions, okay? So I repeat, do not write down the questions. Just show your work on here and circle your final answers. Then make sure you're taking a picture and you're sending it to my email, attaching it on Google Classroom, or messaging me the picture of your work on our Instagram page. So any of that will be awesome so I can see that you are getting your work done. Thank you, and the rest of the video will continue in a couple seconds. Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to week 4 of our digital learning for math. So we are working on lesson 61, which our standard is use models to solve addition equations. Okay, so for this one, we are going to actually have simple one-step equations, and we will be solving to find the variable. But the big thing that we are going to learn and to do here is to make sure we're using a model. Okay, so hopefully this will be a little bit more simple than when we solved equations last week, since it's a little bit slower transition. Well, let's go ahead and read what we have here. You can use algebra tiles to model and solve equations. Use a long rectangle to represent the variable and a square to represent 1. So notice the example they have here for us. So it says model and solve the equation x plus 9 equals 11. So no matter what, even if you know what x has to be, what the variable has to be added to 9 to equal 11, we still are going to go through these steps, because when we get to an equation with a variable and we need to find what the variable is and the answer is harder to find, there's different kind of steps. It will be easier if you learned these steps first, because when you get to 7th grade, when you get to 8th grade, you will be solving for the variable one-step equations. Maybe there might be two-step equations, and there will be decimals, there are going to be fractions, there's going to be many numbers involved that will make it more difficult. So even if you already know what x represents, don't just put x equals 2. Show me your model, show me your steps. Okay, so our first step, model the equation using algebra tiles. So that's just our tape diagram. So remember, the long rectangle, that is representing our variable. So this long rectangle is x. I'm going to go ahead and label it. Okay, and then each one of these tiles or tape diagrams is just a single one. And we have 9 here to represent the 9 we have here in the equation. And then when it equals 2, this should be a total of 11 little pieces, little tiles. Perfect. Now, the second step, we want to get the variable, so we want to get this rectangle. I'm going to label it again with x all by itself. So to do that, we are grouping up the amount we have here and the same amount we have here. So it kind of cancels each other out. So remove those numbers tiles. So if we're removing 9 tiles from the left side, we need to do the same thing on the right side. So we remove 9 tiles on the right side. And then we have x, the tape diagram for x all by itself. And then what's left over here are there's 2 little tiles. Bring those 2 tiles down, and that means that x is going to equal 2 because each one of these represents 1. All right, let's go ahead and try one together. All right, so this one says solve the equation by using algebra tiles or drawing a picture. So let's go ahead and do the same thing they did in the example. So first is we need a long rectangular tile. That's going to be our variable. I'm going to label it with x. Then I have plus 4, so I need 4 squares to represent that number. I need an equal sign, and I need to make sure I draw 10 squares on the next side to represent the number 10. So I have 5 so far, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, second step is to redraw what they had, or what we have. So I have my 4 tiles, And then I'm going to go ahead and draw my 10 tiles. And I am going to group up the amount I have on this side so I can remove them. So I'm going to just circle those 4. And then I need to circle 4 on the right side so it balances it out. Now I'm going to rewrite this with what is left. So on the left side, what's left will be just the X tile or rectangle. And notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles on the right side. So let's rewrite this with the 6 tiles on the right side. And then let's just rewrite it without the tiles. X equals 6. Circle our final answer. Okay, go ahead and try number 2 by yourself. Okay, here is the answer for number 2. X equals 6. So it actually came out to the same answer, and there's my work. Let's go ahead and try the back page. Okay, let's go ahead and read the question together. So we have Diana spent $5 on lunch. She purchased a sandwich and a drink. The drink cost $2. The equation S plus 2 equals 5 can be used to find the cost S of the sandwich. Which model shows the equation? So S is our variable. We have to have a long tile to represent that. So they all start with a long tile so far. And then we have to have 2 smaller tiles next to the long tile. This one has 2 tiles next to it. This one does not, so this one for sure would be incorrect. This one already says equal to, not correct. This one has the 2 tiles, but on the other side, the equal sign. So this one should be correct. Let's just check the rest. Equal sign, perfect. And then 5 tiles on the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. A is the answer. And I do apologize if you can hear any noise in the background. I do have the scanner working, so it's making some noise. I'm sorry about that. So I want you to go ahead and try the rest of this page. Pause now, come back and check your answers. Okay, let's check our answers. So for number 2, the answer was D. Number 3, we needed to solve the equation and find out the value of H. So I went ahead and circled the tiles I removed, which left me with 3 tiles. So the answer is 3, which is A. I had to remove 4 tiles to represent this equation and find what G represents. After I removed 4 tiles from both the left and right side, I'm left with 2 tiles, which equals G equals 2, which represented B. And then the bottom 2 questions, one we are showing our work solving the equation, and the other one we made an equation and solved it. So for 5, the answer is 7 degrees Fahrenheit. And the answer for 6 is 2 checkers. All right, I hope you understood this lesson for today. Don't forget to make sure you're uploading, attaching your work on Google Classroom, or you can always email me the work that you have been doing so I can make sure to be giving you credit for all the work you have done. And all of these pages will be on our Google Classroom. I also sent an email Friday with all the pages attached for the whole week. So if you want to do the whole week now, you can. If not, I will upload each page that you are doing front and back. You're doing that every day, one each day. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.